The Fortune 500 company has the craziest interview process. The interviewer hands each candidate a large burlap sack. However much you want for your annual salary, that's how many bricks you load into your sack. Each brick is worth 1 million won. The interviewer explains that 1 brick equals a 1 million won salary, 10 bricks gets you 10 million won, and 100 bricks, well, you do the math. Basically, however many bricks you can fit in your sack determines your annual salary. Everyone in the room thinks this company has completely lost its mind, but they have no idea how much they're about to regret what comes next. One candidate asks if they're really free to take as many as they want. The interviewer confirms, absolutely free. The interviewer sets the rules. Everyone has exactly 5 minutes. The clock starts, and the candidates go at it like their lives depend on it, greedily stuffing bricks into their sacks, terrified of not getting enough. Time flies by, and everyone ends up with a sack stuffed to the brim. But not everyone is that greedy. A girl named Jaein only takes 1 brick. The chaebol heir In-woo doesn't take any. After all, this is his father's company. Meanwhile, Jaein's close friend Youngkwang manages to cram a whopping 35 bricks into his sack. Then the interviewer drops the bombshell. Now you have to carry your sack up to the rooftop. The building is 33 stories tall. The candidates are completely stunned. They stare at the bricks in their hands, practically losing their minds. And it gets worse, no elevators allowed. Stairs only. If you remove even 1 brick from your sack now, or ask anyone for help, you're eliminated. Only those who carry their own salary to the top of the building on their own strength will have a chance at that salary and move on to the next round. You have 10 minutes to reach the rooftop, fail to make it, and you're out. With that, the interviewer heads up to the roof. The candidates look at their sacks, some can barely even lift them, and the regret sets in hard. Some give up on the spot. In-woo, holding his empty sack, walks over to mock Youngkwang and his brick-stuffed bag, telling him he's already eliminated before they've even started. He sneers at Youngkwang, suggesting he should just quit and go home. Jaein can't bear to see Youngkwang so defeated. She encourages him, saying it's not like him to give up without trying. He'll prove himself, won't he? Youngkwang answers with determination, he'll be fine. So Youngkwang hoists the sack of bricks onto his back and starts climbing toward the rooftop. But just as he's about to reach the top, In-woo catches up. With a casual shove, In-woo sends the sweat-drenched Youngkwang tumbling down. Youngkwang hits the ground and passes out. Jaein makes it to the 33rd floor with ease. In-woo climbs up shortly after. Time is running out, and the interviewer, who had been most looking forward to Youngkwang, anxiously removes his sunglasses to scan the stairwell. Meanwhile, Youngkwang has just regained consciousness. Only 1 minute left. Jaein is certain something must have happened to him, knowing Youngkwang. He should have been up here by now. She's ready to get herself eliminated if it means going back down to find him. The countdown begins. At the very last second, Youngkwang drags himself up with his sack on his back. When In-woo sees him, guilt flashes across his face. He's afraid Youngkwang will come for payback. And Youngkwang doesn't let him off the hook. He launches himself into the air and lands a punch that sends In-woo crashing to the floor. In the end, all 3 pass the test. For the second round, the interviewer sets out 11 mystery boxes of different sizes for the 11 candidates who made it through. One candidate, having learned from the first round's trap of take as many bricks as you want for your salary, warns everyone not to be too greedy. Picking a small box is the safe bet. Otherwise, they'll end up like the first round, where greed got everyone eliminated. Sure enough, most candidates rush for the smaller boxes. When it's Youngkwang's turn, he picks the biggest one. The 2 remaining boxes of equal size go to Jaein and In-woo. The interviewer tells them to open their boxes. Youngkwang's contains a blue down jacket. Jaein and In-woo each have a pair of sneakers. The small boxes hold various hard-to-sell trinkets. The interviewer then explains, these are all new company products. Your task is to sell your item to one of the 3 executives standing behind me. Only the first 4 to make a sale will earn the right to open the safe bearing their name. Inside those safes is your final assignment. The tall guy who got a small item starts complaining that his product puts him at a disadvantage. The interviewer snaps back, you all made your own choices. You have 5 days. Only the first 4 to sell their products can open the safes. Get moving. Youngkwang is heading out with his product when he runs into the company chairman. The chairman arrogantly calls out to stop him. Turns out, during the first round, the chairman had been watching the surveillance footage and saw Youngkwang punch his son. Furious, he drags Youngkwang to the interviewer and makes him an offer. If Youngkwang can successfully sell his product to the chairman, he'll let bygones be bygones and give Youngkwang a direct pass into the company. Before the interviewer can respond, Youngkwang, seeing this as an opportunity, agrees on the spot. But he has no idea what kind of hole he's just dug for himself. From then on, wherever the chairman goes, Youngkwang shows up trying to pitch his product. Every time, he gets ruthlessly thrown out. Even during board meetings, Youngkwang seizes the moment. He'll suddenly pop out from under the chairman's desk. Finally, the chairman relents and offers Youngkwang one chance. He tells Youngkwang he's attending a party, and if Youngkwang can make him laugh there, he'll buy the product. Youngkwang follows the chairman to the party. The chairman makes him dress up as a clown to entertain him. Youngkwang thinks of his late father's words, "You have to learn to endure anything," and of his mother working so hard to make ends meet. Swallowing his pride, Youngkwang puts on the clown costume and performs his heart out on stage. The audience is cracking up, everyone except the chairman. After the performance, Youngkwang is furious. He's humiliated. He feels like a fool who got played. Everyone sees Youngkwang groveling, but who sees the burden he carries for his family? The final day of the interview arrives, and still no one has sold their product. The interviewer encourages everyone, it's not over until it's over. Youngkwang, who never gives up, shows up at the chairman's new product launch event. This time, he doesn't play along. Instead, he goes on the attack, criticizing the chairman for mistreating employees, whipping hardworking staff while protecting incompetent insiders and threatening blameless workers. Youngkwang confidently tells the chairman that he'll use the world's greatest softness to break through the world's greatest hardness. The soft will always overcome the rigid. The mock chairman orders his men to drag Youngkwang out. Youngkwang keeps taunting. Are you scared? Stung? The chairman suddenly bursts out laughing. Me? Scared of some punk kid? When he sees Youngkwang's sudden smile, the chairman realizes he's lost this round. The interviewer announces on the spot that someone with Youngkwang's confidence and guts passes the second round directly. But Youngkwang has no idea that this was all a test the interviewer had secretly designed just for him, all so Youngkwang could open the safe. Inside is a secret left behind by his father, who died in a car accident. He finds his father's watch and a mysterious note. The interviewer appears and tells Youngkwang what happened the day his father died. It turns out Jaein was once a chaebol heiress. Youngkwang's father wanted to help Jaein reclaim what was rightfully hers, so he called the chairman, the man who had seized Jaein's father's company for himself. Youngkwang's father knew the ruthless chairman would never willingly give up a company he'd worked so hard to acquire. He knew the chairman would try to silence the only person who knew the secret, so Youngkwang's father called his best friend to meet up. When the interviewer arrived, he witnessed Youngkwang's father being chased by men the chairman had sent. He rushed after them and saw Youngkwang's father get into a car accident. The men nearly hit the interviewer as they fled the scene. On the way to the hospital, Youngkwang's father tried to tell the interviewer about Jaein's true identity, but the doctor said the patient couldn't speak anymore. They put an oxygen mask on him. All Youngkwang's father could do was write down information about Jaein on a piece of paper. After Youngkwang's father passed away, the interviewer never figured out what the numbers on the note meant. Later, he spotted the men who had chased Youngkwang's father at the company. He realized Youngkwang's father's death had to be connected to the chairman, so he used the interview process to get Youngkwang into the company. Once Youngkwang gained the chairman's trust, he could help unlock the secret on the note. The ones who passed the final interview are the mission-driven Youngkwang, the hardworking Jaein, the well-connected Inwoo, and one tall guy who got in through special admission. When Inwoo drives Jaein home, he shows off his driving skills, but Jaein is terrified. After getting out, she collapses on the ground. Inwoo doesn't understand why she's so shaken. Jaein explains she was in a car accident as a child. She doesn't remember the details anymore, but deep down, she's still afraid. Inwoo suddenly recalls that 17 years ago, he saw a news report about the girl he had a crush on, Jaein, and her family getting into a car accident. He asked his father if Jaein had really died. His father said he didn't know, but what Inwoo didn't know was that his father had lied to him. To seize Jaein's father's company, Inwoo's father had orchestrated the death of Jaein's father and sent the amnesia-stricken Jaein to an orphanage. Now Inwoo suspects that the personal caregiver named Jaein might be the girl he loved as a child. He calls his cousin and asks for Jaein's resume. It says she was sent to an orphanage 17 years ago. He finally realizes this caregiver is the little girl he loved 17 years ago. That night, Inwoo is troubled. If his father finds out Jaein is back, he definitely won't let her go. Just then, his father and cousin suddenly show up. Inwoo panics. Meanwhile, Jaein is heading over for work. Turns out his father came to praise Inwoo for what he did on the stairs to Youngkwang. His father says that to become the company heir, you have to be ruthless. After a brief chat, his father prepares to leave, but then Jaein suddenly arrives. The atmosphere instantly becomes tense. Jaein, still unaware of her identity as a chaebol heiress, asks the chairman to be kinder to his son. It would help Inwoo's condition improve. The chairman is taken aback by the caregiver's boldness. He asks her name. Inwoo is terrified his father will discover Jaein's identity. Just as Jaein is about to answer, the cousin steps in to defuse the crisis. He tells the chairman to just call her Miss Lee. He gives Jaein a look. She doesn't understand why, but she stays silent. Inwoo finally exhales. The chairman doesn't discover Jaein's identity, he just scolds her and leaves. The rattled Inwoo warns Jaein never to offer his father advice again, or she'll lose her caregiver job. Then he angrily confronts his cousin. If he knew Jaein's true identity, why did he set her up as Inwoo's personal caregiver? What's the purpose? The cousin has no choice but to explain that the chairman had sent him to capture Jaein. The day the cousin was injured in Inwoo's place, he got a call from his men saying they'd caught Jaein. By the time he arrived, Jaein had escaped. They bumped into each other, but the cousin had lost so much blood that he passed out before he could do anything. Thankfully, Jaein got him to the hospital in time. Seeing how kind Jaein was, he couldn't bring himself to hand her over to the chairman. He told the chairman he hadn't found her. Now he's leaving Jaein's fate in Inwoo's hands. Faced with the girl he's loved since childhood, Inwoo doesn't know what to do. And how will Jaein react when she learns the truth she's been kept from? 17 years ago, on her birthday, her father died. Her mother got into a car accident while driving to find him. Her mother became comatose, and Jae-in lost her memory. The chairman seized her father's company and threatened the family driver to send the amnesiac girl to an orphanage. 17 years later, Jae-in's mother miraculously wakes from her coma. The bribed doctor immediately notifies the chairman. The chairman menacingly asks her mother, "Do you still recognize me?" But the first thing her mother does upon waking is worry about her daughter. Where is Jae-in now? The guilty chairman doesn't know how to respond. Then, her mother, too weak, slips back into unconsciousness. The doctor tells the chairman that her mother's cognitive abilities haven't fully recovered yet. Still paranoid, the chairman asks if there's any chance of further recovery. The doctor says it's already a miracle she woke up at all. Her willpower has exceeded medical expectations. Whether she'll wake again is uncertain. After hearing this, the chairman's face twists into something demonic. To eliminate the threat once and for all, his hand slowly reaches toward her mother's throat. At the last second, a righteous prosecutor appears. She's been investigating the chairman for years. She subtly tells him that perhaps heaven is protecting Jae-in's mother. Heaven can't stand watching bad people roam free. Rattled, the chairman slinks away. One day, Jae-in's mother wakes again. The prosecutor happens to be there watching over her. Her mother immediately recognizes her as Prosecutor Oh. The prosecutor is amazed. Her consciousness has returned. But her mother's mind is still stuck on the day of the accident 17 years ago. The prosecutor tells her everything that's happened over those years. As she listens, tears well up in her mother's eyes. She can't believe it. She woke up only to find her daughter and husband both gone. The blow is devastating. The prosecutor comforts her, urging her to accept reality. Only then can she avenge her daughter and husband. But she must not let anyone know she's regained consciousness. All the medical staff here have been bought off by the chairman. Her mother breaks down. She misses her daughter so much. Meanwhile, Jae-in seems to sense her mother's call. Though she's lost her memories, she somehow knows her mother is out there waiting for her. Her mother eventually calms down. She asks the prosecutor to help her take back her husband's company and find her daughter. With the prosecutor's help, she begins secret rehabilitation exercises. But the chairman discovers this. He tries to test whether she's regained consciousness, saying something like, "Miracles don't happen in this world." He watches for her reaction. Fortunately, she holds her composure and doesn't give herself away. The chairman then tells the prosecutor that he is Jae-in's mother's legal guardian. He forbids any changes to her treatment plan and sneers that she won't regain consciousness anyway. Then he leaves smugly. Her mother turns her head and glares at his retreating figure. Her counterattack begins. One day, she gives the prosecutor an important lead: look into the wife of the man who used to be her husband's driver. The driver might have told his wife what he knew. The prosecutor finds the wife and asks if her husband did anything unusual after the Chable family's accident 17 years ago. The woman says no, her husband only blamed himself for the boss's death, then got sick and didn't speak for days. While cooking dinner, she suddenly remembers. That day, a girl showed up and called her husband Dad. She and her husband got into a huge fight over it. That same day, her husband got into a car accident. Before he died, he told her to make sure the girl Jae-in got back to where she belonged. The woman suddenly realizes something. She turns around and looks at Jae-in behind her. That day, Jae-in had found her way to their home. The woman seems to understand now. She rushes back to her room and recalls how 17 years ago, her husband drank like a man who'd lost his soul. He handed her a sum of money, saying it was money for surrendering. She didn't understand what he meant at the time. She was too busy counting it. She didn't know it was hush money from the chairman. Now she realizes, her husband must have been hiding something all those years. She goes to the hospital to visit Jae-in's mother. During their conversation, they talk about children. The woman mentions her son Youngkwang is 27 now and still busy interviewing for jobs. Jae-in's mother says if her daughter Jae-in were still alive, she'd be 26 this year. The woman freezes. She asks again, "What's your daughter's name?" Jae-in, her mother answers. The woman looks like she's been struck by lightning. Meanwhile, Jae-in, still unaware she's a Chable heiress, is working hard to make ends meet. On her first day, she causes a disaster. She accidentally pulls off an important client's toupee. The client screams at her. Jae-in apologizes profusely, saying it wasn't intentional. When she tries to put the hairpiece back, the client shoves her away. Seeing the girl he loves being bullied, the Chable son rushes in and starts fighting the client. Just then, the chairman arrives. Everyone is terrified by his sinister expression. They think they're all about to be fired. The chairman orders Jae-in to kneel and apologize to the client. The bald man says if she doesn't kneel, he won't sign the contract. But Jae-in calmly writes something on a piece of paper and hands it to the Chinese boss in front of her. The Chinese boss pauses, then looks at Jae-in. She says slowly, "The ocean doesn't ripple over a small stone. A great tree doesn't sway in a light breeze. I acknowledge my mistake, but if a contract is broken over a minor employee like me, I don't think that's befitting of a major corporation." The bald man complains that her apology isn't sincere. He refuses to forgive her and moves to leave with the Chinese boss. But the Chinese boss stops him. Everyone is confused. The Chinese boss pushes the note toward the chairman. It reads 9 Chinese characters: "The good do not argue. Those who argue are not good." The Chinese boss asks Jae-in, "You like lousy too?" Jae-in eagerly explains she loves the Tao Te Ching. As it happens, ends, the Chinese boss's father also loved it. He hopes Jae-in can continue working at the company. He wants all future deals to go through her. And just like that, the well-read Jae-in uses the profound wisdom of Chinese philosophy to defuse the crisis. The chairman looks at this surprisingly cultured young woman with new interest. He curiously asks her name. Jae-in happily answers, Yoon Jae-in. The chairman freezes. He never imagined this girl is the very person he's been searching for all these years. He asks who her father is. Jae-in answers, Kim In-bae. The chairman finally understands everything. He recalls what the driver Kim In-bae said before his accident. That child is still alive. She has to go back to where she belongs. 17 years ago, to seize her father's company. The chairman had threatened the driver to remove Jae-in from the family registry and send her to an orphanage. Now she's working at his company. He decides to deal with her again. Before making his move, he beats up his nephew first. He demands to know why the nephew put Jae-in near his son. What's the purpose? In-woo rushes in and says it's not his cousin's fault. He told the cousin not to say anything. He was afraid his father would hurt Jae-in if he knew. He loves Jae-in, but Jae-in has no idea she was once a chaebol heiress, or who her real father is. The chairman furiously tells his son he's lost his mind. If In-woo keeps protecting Jae-in, he, In-woo, and the company will all be destroyed because of her. He orders the nephew to retrieve all of Jae-in's employment files immediately. He's going to kick her out of the company. Meanwhile, Young-kwang follows the note his father left and finds the memorial tablet of Jae-in's biological father. It turns out Jae-in isn't his half-sister after all. Just then, Young-kwang arrives at the company. He doesn't tell Jae-in what he's discovered. He just strokes her head and comforts her, asking her to wait there while he goes to see the team leader. Young-kwang tells the team leader he's unlocked the secret on the note. It's the number of Jae-in's biological father's memorial tablet. He now understands why his father left that note before his accident, because his father told him before dying to send Jae-in back to where she belongs. Now Young-kwang finally understands what his father meant, to restore Jae-in to her rightful place as a chaebol heiress. He tells the team leader he's going to take back everything that belongs to Jae-in from the chairman. The team leader gives his full support. Meanwhile, the chairman looks at Jae-in's file with a sinister expression, having thought of a way to deal with her. He shows up at Young-kwang's house with his men. The family, eating dinner, is stunned. Young-kwang asks why the chairman is here. The chairman says, your whole family is trash. Everyone is bewildered. What did they ever do to him? The chairman has his men drag Young-kwang away. He goes to Jae-in and begins his performance. He pulls her into an embrace, crocodile tears streaming down his face, saying how hard he searched for her these 17 years. He can't believe she was so close all along. He twists the story, saying Young-kwang's father abandoned young Jae-in for money. He tells her that her biological father was his business partner who helped found the company. Tragically, on a rainy day, the driver drove the car into the ocean, killing her father. That driver was Young-kwang's father. On the day her father died, she and her mother got into an accident while searching for him. Innocent Jae-in immediately asks, is my mother still alive? Where is she? The chairman lies again, saying her mother became comatose after the accident and passed away not long ago. If they'd found Jae-in sooner, she could have seen her mother. He blames everything on Young-kwang's dead father, claiming the man kept extorting money under the pretense of looking for Jae-in, then hid her at his home. Jae-in can't believe it. She goes to Young-kwang's mother to confirm, hoping she'll deny everything. But Young-kwang's mother, now knowing Jae-in's true identity, kneels before her. She tells Jae-in that her husband apparently was the one who abandoned her. She doesn't know why he did it, and she can't wake her dead husband to explain. All she can do is atone on his behalf. Jae-in can't accept this. She faints. When she wakes, she's in the chairman's home. She goes to her biological father's memorial tablet, but her every move is watched by the chairman's men. She has no idea her tragic fate is just beginning. As soon as she moves in, the chairman's wife mocks her clothes as tasteless. She forces Jae-in to take off her bargain bin outfit, saying she needs to erase all traces of 17 years of poverty by wearing designer clothes. But Jae-in instantly sees this for what it is, humiliation. Hurt, Jae-in leaves the mansion and finds Young-kwang to pour out her heart. She says she doesn't have the confidence to face life in the chaebol household. She hopes they can both forget their parents' grudges so they can be together openly. Seeing the woman he loves in tears, Young-kwang can't hold back anymore. He kisses her deeply. Jae-in doesn't resist. Young-kwang's mother happens to see this tender moment. Young-kwang looks at Jae-in with deep emotion. He wants to take her somewhere nobody knows them and live happily. But just as they're about to leave, the chairman's men come to take Jae-in back, and they beat Young-kwang badly. Young-kwang's mother, seeing her son barely conscious, is heartbroken. She scolds Jae-in, aren't you back with the chaebol family now? Why did you come back? Why did you make such a mess? She begs Jae-in to go back and live well with her biological mother. Jae-in freezes. The chairman clearly told her that her mother had just passed away. Before she can ask more, the chairman's men stop her. The chaebol son arrives and tells Jae-in that if she doesn't want Young-kwang's family to get hurt, she should come back with him. Jae-in looks at Young-kwang's mother questioningly. His mother nods, as if to say, we'll talk later. So Jae-in leaves with In-woo. On the way back, Jae-in asks In-woo, is my mother really dead? Your father told me she'd been bedridden for a long time before she died. Or is Young-kwang's mother lying? In-woo doesn't answer. He's afraid Jae-in will leave him if she learns the truth. Back at the mansion, the chairman threatens Jae-in. If she's caught seeing Young-kwang's family again, he'll send them somewhere no one can find them. Terrified, Jae-in shakes her head and promises to behave and not sneak out again. The chairman immediately softens his act, telling her to think of him as a stand-in for her biological father. He'd do anything to protect her. Jae-in doesn't understand his motive, but In-woo sees right through his father. Later, In-woo confronts his father in the study. Jae-in's mother is clearly alive. Why lie and say she's dead? His father explains that until he gets Jae-in's signature on the share transfer agreement, he can't let her see her mother. In-woo finally understands why his father brought Jae-in home, to use her. Otherwise, why would I bring such an annoying girl into my house? His father says. He solemnly tells his son this isn't personal grudge, it's about whether he can become the true owner of the company. I know you love Jae-in, but if you keep protecting her, you'll destroy my career. This time, In-woo doesn't comply. He lashes out. His father stole the company from Jae-in's biological father and robbed her of 17 years. He should give her life back. Instead, he's despicably scheming to exploit her. You're an utterly despicable father. The result is predictable. In-woo gets beaten badly, triggering another episode. He lies on the floor, convulsing. Even so, his father doesn't let up. When the chairman raises his hand again, Jae-in rushes in to stop him. She brings a first aid kit to tend to In-woo's wounds. 17 years ago, a similar scene played out. That's when In-woo first fell for the kind Jae-in. To help Jae-in find her mother, In-woo secretly calls the doctor to ask which room she's in. Soon after, Jae-in receives an anonymous text with a hospital name and room number. Overjoyed, she rushes to the hospital to reunite with her mother. But when she opens the door, her mother isn't there. She asks a nurse making the bed, "Where's the patient Yeo Eun-ju?" The nurse's eyes shift as she says there's no patient by that name here. Jae-in goes to the front desk and shows them the text. They insist there's no such patient, it's probably spam. But Jae-in doesn't know that the chairman bribed the nurses and hospital director and already moved her mother. Dejected, she sits in a chair, desperately wanting to know if her mother is alive. Just then, Young-kwang's mother appears. She confirms that Jae-in's mother is alive. Just days ago, she was peeling apples for her in the hospital room. But they don't realize their conversation is overheard by the chairman's spy, who immediately reports it. Furious, the chairman decides to accelerate his plan. When Jae-in returns home, he knows he can't hide it much longer. He immediately demands she sign the share transfer agreement to claim her father's shares and secure full ownership of the company. But Jae-in says, "If you don't tell me where my mother is, I won't sign." Out of options, the chairman resumes his act, scolding her for believing Young-kwang's mother, the woman who lied to her for 17 years, over him. Jae-in doesn't know who to believe. As she hesitates, In-woo bursts in and tells her not to sign. He begs his father to stop. The chairman, enraged, raises his hand to hit his son again. But this time, In-woo doesn't back down. For the first time in his life, he resists his father. In-woo slowly pushes his father's hand away. In that moment, the chairman realizes he's gotten old. He's no longer a match for his son. In-woo takes Jae-in away. He surprises even himself by standing up to his father. He's grown up. He's no longer afraid. Meanwhile, Jae-in's mother wakes from unconsciousness to find herself strapped to a hospital bed. As she struggles helplessly, In-woo's cousin appears. He says he's here to help. He'll move her to a more comfortable room. He declares they're on the same side and will take down the chairman together. The chairman, looking at the unsigned transfer agreement, wears a sinister expression. He's thought of another way to deal with Jae-in. The next day, the landlord finds Young-kwang's mother and says Jae-in bought their noodle shop for a high price. They have to move out immediately. When Young-kwang hears this, he's sure the kind Jae-in wouldn't do such a thing. And she doesn't have that kind of money anyway. This must be the vicious chairman's doing. Young-kwang storms off to confront the chairman, who arrogantly tells him this is just the beginning. Worse days are coming. It's a cruel move, using Jae-in's name to drive a wedge between her and the family. Young-kwang's furious sister finds Jae-in and accuses her of being ungrateful. The family treated her so well, and now that she's joined the Chaebol household, she's cutting off their livelihood. Jae-in immediately realizes this is the chairman's doing. To get the noodle shop contract back from him, she has no choice but to sign the share transfer agreement in exchange. She leaves the contract at the shop door and slips away quietly. Young-kwang's mother sees it and breaks down crying, heartbroken by everything Jae-in has sacrificed for them. Desperate to find her mother, Jae-in goes to the hospital with a sign, asking everyone she meets. She eventually gets kicked out. Fortunately, one nurse takes pity on her. She tells Jae-in that her mother regained consciousness and has been looking for her. She's in room 806. Without a word, Jae-in rushes into the hospital. Meanwhile, in the hospital room, the cousin intake shows Jae-in's mother a photo of her daughter, explaining that Jae-in thinks she's dead and has signed the transfer agreement believing the chairman is a good person. Time is running out. The chairman plans to use the board meeting to seize full control of her late husband's company. He'll never let mother and daughter meet until he gets what he wants. Jae-in might even be in danger. Hearing this, Jae-in's mother decides to personally stop the chairman's scheme. Intake has his men help her leave the hospital. At that very moment, Jae-in is asking a nurse for her mother's room number. Fate loves to toy with kind people. Mother and daughter miss each other by seconds. When Jae-in opens the door, she runs into Intake stepping out. Seeing the empty room, she falls to her knees, begging him to take take her to her mother. Intake brings Jae-in to the chairman's office, where they find her mother struggling with the chairman. After 17 years, mother and daughter finally reunite. But the mother is so overwhelmed that she collapses. She's rushed to the hospital, but she doesn't wake up even after emergency treatment. This is the first time Jae-in has seen her mother in 17 years. She has so much to say. Looking at her unconscious mother, Jae-in is devastated. She sits outside the operating room, waiting. The prosecutor arrives to visit Jae-in's mother. Upon learning Jae-in's identity, she comforts her. Her mother is a strong woman. She held on for 17 years just to see Jae-in, waking from a vegetative state and doing rehabilitation exercises. She'll wake up again. Before leaving for important work, the prosecutor tells Jae-in to call anytime. Back in the room, the doctor tells Jae-in that her mother's condition is critical. The chances of regaining consciousness are low. Waking from the coma before was already a miracle. Jae-in breaks down. They just reunited, and now this. She thinks of how the chairman lied about her mother being dead, and his cruelty toward her. Having lost her memories, Jae-in doesn't know what her parents went through 17 years ago. Seeking the truth, she goes to the prosecutor. She wants to know exactly how her father died, why her mother became comatose, and why she was abandoned. The prosecutor tells her everything. After learning the truth, Jae-in decides to begin her revenge. She's going to take back everything that belongs to her. She confronts the chairman directly. Did you deliberately cause the accident that killed my father just to take his company? And why did you tell me my mother was dead when she's alive? Faced with her accusations, the chairman drops his act. He finally shows his true colors, saying her comatose mother is no different from a corpse. Being alive is the same as being dead. Hearing him insult her mother, Jae-in slaps him hard across the face. She tells him to shut up and swears she'll never forgive him. She'll make him suffer just as much. Enraged, the chairman grabs her throat and warns her, "You're just a pebble. How could you possibly take me down?" But Jae-in replies, "People don't trip over mountains. They trip over the pebbles at their feet, and I will become that pebble under yours." Calming down, the chairman says smugly, "I look forward to your revenge. But if you can't defeat me, your time will come." Jae-in walks out of the mansion. But how can she, fighting alone, achieve redemption? Her turning point comes soon. One day, a disheveled old man shows up at the company. No one would guess he's secretly the richest of the rich. Office workers avoid him like the plague. The old man marches to the reception desk, slams down a gray bag containing a tent, and demands to see Ju Dae-kong from the sales team. The receptionist, intimidated, calls Dae-kong. He jumps up from his desk, trembling, and scolds the receptionist for saying he'd be right down. She should have lied and said he wasn't in. A female colleague looks on with amusement. Young Kwang asks who this old man is that has Dae-kong so rattled. She explains, the old man comes every year to have Dae-kong repair an outdoor tent he sold him. A colleague adds that the tent was bought 20 years ago, already broken at purchase. Dae-kong promised to fix it and sold it at 60% off. Dae-kong desperately tries to pass the buck, but no one wants to touch it. Then he spots Young Kwang, the new guy, and sends him down to deal with the old man. But Young Kwang has no idea this old man will become the benefactor who changes his fate. Young Kwang uses his smooth talking to win the old man over, promising to fix the tent. The old man hands over the dusty tent, saying he'll come back when it's done. Young Kwang stares at the worn-out tent, deep in thought. Meanwhile, the chairman is also seeking the old man's help with an investment. It's the only way to fully seize Jae-in's father's company. But the butler tells him the old man just stepped out. At the same time, Jae-in is preparing to reclaim her father's company. Her legal team bluntly tells her that even if she sold all her shares, she'd still be 30 billion short. Only if someone lent her money could she compete with the chairman. The only person with that kind of cash is the legendary Old Man Huang, but he's been out of the game for years. Finding him won't be easy. Young Kwang takes the tent to the old man, who's getting shoes repaired at a shop. He tries to convince him to swap it for a brand new tent. Young Kwang doesn't yet know this is the legendary Old Man Huang, but the old man refuses the trade. The tent holds special meaning. It was the last gift from his deceased son. Not wanting the old man to live with regret, Young Kwang returns to the company and tells Dae-kong they have to fix it no matter what. Through sheer determination, Young Kwang finds the parts in the warehouse, repairs the tent, and returns it to the old man, fulfilling his years-long wish. The old man looks at Young Kwang with a satisfied smile. That day, Young Kwang learns from the team leader that the chairman has been reappointed as chairman through the board. The only way Jae-in can stop him now is money. She needs to buy out all the company's shares. Only Old Man Huang has that kind of capital. If Jae-in can convince him to lend it to her, she can beat the chairman. Following the team leader's recommendation, Young Kwang goes to ask Old Man Huang for a loan to help Jae-in. Huang asks what collateral he can offer. As Young Kwang, who has nothing, thinks about what to put up, he spots tent parts on a shelf. He guesses that the Old Man Huang the team leader mentioned is the same scruffy old man he helped. He tentatively calls out the old man's name. The old man slowly turns around. Young Kwang can't believe it's really him. With a mischievous grin, the old man shouts, "That's me." Young Kwang puts up his own life as collateral and successfully borrows 30 billion won. When he excitedly brings the contract to Jae-in, he sees her kissing In-woo. It turns out In-woo also promised Jae-in he'd help destroy his own father. He just needs her to pretend they're together to gain the chairman's trust. With no choice, Jae-in doesn't dodge In-woo's kiss to keep up the act for the chairman. As she turns to leave, she sees Young Kwang. Though heartbroken, heartbroken, Young Kwang still hands over the contract he traded his future for, all so the woman he loves can reclaim everything. He chooses to bury his love deep inside. Young Kwang lets go of Jae-in's hand and quietly walks away. To successfully fool the chairman, Jae-in can only watch him leave in pain. She, too, buries her love for Young Kwang deep within. She goes to the hospital, devastated, her unconscious mother still lying in bed. She doesn't know if she's making the right choice. Sitting in a chair, she breaks down crying. The team leader suddenly finds her and tells her about Young Kwang betting his entire future to get old man Hwang's help. He gives her a note, telling her to go to the address at 7 a.m. the next day to get what she needs. He warns that the chairman is also courting Hwang for investment. If she doesn't find Hwang by 7, her father's company will belong to the chairman for good. As the team leader leaves, he exchanges a knowing smile with Young Kwang hiding around the corner. Young Kwang had asked him to deliver the message. Seeing that the team leader convinced Jae-in, he silently thanks him. Young Kwang watches Jae-in from the shadows, praying she won't be late. The next day, Jae-in finds old man Hwang at the address. The chairman is already there. When he sees Jae-in, he's startled. What's this girl doing here? Hwang invites Jae-in to sit and tells the chairman she's also here to borrow money. The chairman snaps, "Is the interest rate I offered not high enough?" Jae-in quickly presents her prepared materials, hoping Hwang will lend her the money to protect her father's company. But Hwang tells her she doesn't need to offer collateral. Young Kwang already put up his life when he borrowed the money for her, so he can only decline the chairman's offer. The chairman slams the table in fury and storms out. Afterward, Jae-in angrily tracks down Young Kwang and kicks him in the thigh. She scolds him, "Is your life something you can just gamble away? How could you put up your own life as collateral?" Young Kwang explains that Jae-in wants to defeat the chairman. He's willing to be the blade in her hand. He just wants to see her smile again. He wants her life to be happier. That's his only wish. Jae-in's eyes open to the truth. She remembers the key necklace the mountain god grandfather gave her. Her first wish was to reunite with her family. Her second was to become an excellent nurse. Her third was to find someone who truly loves her. The first wish has come true. She found her mother. And she finally realizes Young Kwang is the one she loves. So Jae-in goes to old man Hwang and tells him she absolutely cannot borrow this money at the cost of Young Kwang's life. Hwang is puzzled. Without the money, the company could fall into the chairman's hands. But Jae-in tells him that if Young Kwang's life is the collateral, she'll never be able to smile again. She asks Hwang to return Young Kwang's life to him. She's found another way to defeat the chairman. Jae-in returns to the company and announces she's giving her 50% stake to the company's employees. Only by distributing shares to the staff can she win their hearts and protect her father's company. When the chairman finds out, he's furious. He takes out his rage on his subordinates, calling Intake useless and threatening to kill him if he can't handle this. But Intake tosses a stack of documents back at him, evidence of all the chairman's crimes over the years. He says the prosecutor will come for him eventually, and he's done being the chairman's puppet. Sure enough, the prosecutor soon takes the chairman away, but during the interrogation, he suddenly collapses. The doctor tells In-woo his father has terminal cancer. He's had it for a long time. It's a miracle he survived this long. Before dying, the chairman tells his son he's never regretted anything in his life. His only regret is this: if he had pulled Jae-in's father out of the water that day instead, his life might have ended differently. Soon after, Jae-in's mother wakes from her coma again. Mother and daughter embrace tightly. Nothing will ever keep them apart again. 9 months later, Jae-in returns to her old job and becomes an excellent nurse. Young Kwang never gave up on the promise he made her. He becomes a famous baseball star. He asks her again if what she said back then still counts. "If I become a baseball champion, will you marry me?" In that moment, Jae-in knows her third wish is finally coming true, finding the love of her life. And that concludes the recap of the Korean drama, Glory Jane. Thanks for watching. EMD no kdrama. Please subscribe to my YouTube and TikTok channels. See you next time.